that I teach, and I upload them to a YouTube channel where you could go back and reference them, as well as I will email a recap that includes all of the steps that I am doing in this download process, so you don't have to worry about taking too many scrupulous notes and just kind of follow along and pay attention. If you guys have any questions, please remain muted until the end of the session. Otherwise, feel free to utilize the chat feature, which is on either side of your screen. If you think you might forget a question, I will take all questions at the end. My big effort is to get everybody out of here just before noon. So like the slide I had up previous to this showed, we are going over saving these assets. Quick story and recap as to why we're doing this is because we are launching a new version of the Listing Concierge platform that Coldwell Banker has created with its own software development team in-house. The reason we are developing this, I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, there we go. The reason we had developed this new software is because the original platform, which was developed by a third party, couldn't quite meet the aggressive changes and timeline that Coldwell Banker and its agents expected for its growth. And its foundation wasn't really built in a place to accommodate all of the changes that Coldwell Banker would like to have seen regardless. So we have spent the last year redeveloping that software in-house to best meet our agents' needs. And that's what this VNew platform will be. If you guys want more detailed information about this, I highly, highly recommend you sign up for what are called the TMAP calls for agents in Sales Pro. It's this month at Product, TMAP. It is a breakdown of everything coming from our product division of the studio and broken down in a timeline and kind of a almost like a board meeting style of what's going on in regards to development of tools and updates to tools that you as agents use. And if you'd like to be involved in beta testing and things like that, that's where things are announced. There's no other company that's that transparent with their materials. I think it speaks to the brand that we build tools with agents, not necessarily for agents, and it's a highly valuable asset to be a part of if you plan on, partnering with Coldwell Banker like you guys all have. So I very much recommend you start joining those calls. That will give you a much more detailed breakdown of what I just told you in regards to why we are transitioning platforms, but it's all for the greater good. Now, all of that setup work aside, let's go ahead and dive into the session itself. Again, I'm going to remind everybody, please remain muted. All questions are at the end. Utilize the chat feature if you're worried you might forget something. And let's dive in here. There we go. So like I noted at the beginning, I am recording the session. It'll be sent in a recap to you guys along with a breakdown of a lot of what I'm doing. So don't worry about taking too many detailed notes. Just pay attention, follow along, and think up any questions you might have towards the end. I will start actually here on my desktop because that's where all of this will begin. I am a big fan of There we go. I am a big fan of workflow. Anybody that's taken a session with me before knows I talk a lot about organization, process, procedure, all of those fun things that kind of sound boring, but make your life 1,000% easier in the grand scheme. And it all starts here on your computer. Saving your assets out of Listing Concierge and then uploading them to a cloud storage partner like we're doing in my example is a fairly simple multi-step process, right? We're going to do one listing specific, and the goal is you save everything to your computer first in a nice organized space, and then in one foul swoop can upload that to your cloud storage partner. In my example, that is going to be OneDrive, which is the Microsoft cloud storage program included in your ASP as a part of the Office 365 bundle. You can do this with whatever program that you choose. If you're paying additionally to use Dropbox or iCloud or Google Drive or things like that, the steps are almost entirely the same. The big part is making sure you do get these saved because for whatever marketing purposes you have in the future, whether they be personal branding, listing branding, whether you're trying to win a listing, whatever the case may be, if you've taken any session with me, you've heard me say, people hear with their eyes. You will always resonate with a consumer if you show them something instead of just telling them something. That's why these assets are important. You never know what you're going to need in the future, so you want to have them saved now. It all starts by creating a folder on your desktop. Right click, new folder, bam. I called this folder Listing Concierge Assets because for my own sanity, it helps me know exactly what's going to be in here. And when you open this folder, what you're going to see is we've got subfolders for every listing we have saved or that we are saving. So I've got 1, 2, 3 fake street, 2, 3, 4 blank street, 3, 4, 5 another street. And then let's say I've only purchased 4 orders in my lifetime with Listing Concierge. I've got 3 of them saved. We're going to go over how to save that 4th one together. But this is the process, and this is where it starts. You've got your Listing Concierge Assets folder created, and then within this folder, we are going to create subfolders for each listing. Each listing has its own subfolder with its own breakdowns inside them of all of the assets within. It's nice, it's organized, and it makes it easy for you to get back to in the future. Now, let's start saving some stuff. Let's say, like I said, I've got everything done except my last listing. So if I need to save that, we're going to start by being in my CB desk, and we're obviously going to go into the Listing Concierge platform. Now, I am not an agent, but one of my agents, Willie, was kind enough to let me use his account, and this is what we are going to jump into. As you can see, when you log into your Listing Concierge, you've got your orders right up here. All we're focusing on are the orders that you have paid for. And a great place to start is this order history button at the very top. Click on order history, and you're going to indeed see every order you have paid for. Willie has 2. Now, in my example, we've got everything in that folder. So we're going to pretend like John Street is already saved, and we're going to work together on saving this 125 32nd Avenue. You can see each package and what its price was. And this way you've got a good reference sheet to make sure you do have everything saved. I'm going to download this PDF by clicking on that button. And I'm using Google Chrome, so you can see the download is popped up right here, this beautiful little arrow. If you click on Show in Folder, will take me right to my Downloads folder where I can find that new file I just saved. Now, what do I want to do with this? This is my order history. So I'm actually going to put this just in my Listing Concierge folder as a whole by dragging and dropping it in. Now you drag something by clicking with your left click. Unless you're left-handed, then you'll be using your right click. But whatever your primary click option is, you click, you hold on to it until you're ready to let go where it needs to go, and you let go. You move that folder into here. This is our order history. If I want to be a little bit more specific, I can right click, rename, and call this Anuj Order History V1. Again, whatever is easy for you. This, again, will let me know everything I have purchased so I can reference it for another day. And now I can go back to my listings. Oops. Get back into Willie's account real quick. Go back to my listings, and we can go ahead and start saving my last one, which is 125 32nd Avenue in Santa Cruz. I'm going to hit Manage Order. That is going to take me to my listing dashboard where I can see everything associated with the gold package that was purchased for this order. Zoom in a little bit. Now, obviously, this is going to start with us creating a new subfolder titled 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz. I'm going to right click, new folder. We've got a new folder there. I am going to call it 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz. And just like that, we've got a new folder. Now that I've got that new folder, I can come in here and let's start saving everything we need. A handful of this stuff is all done in the same way, which is great for us. And a lot of it's fairly simple. This doesn't take very long. It only takes about 15 minutes or so per listing. We're going to start with the easy stuff. First things first are the photos. I'm going to click and grab the photos button, which will take me right to our photos. Now, this only applies to if you chose a photographer that is in the Listing Concierge system. If you used your own photographer, you can skip this step. You probably got the photos saved somewhere else. For those of you that purchased a order and used one of the 4 or 5 photographers that are in the system, all you have to do, easy peasy, hit the select all button and download high res. You only need to save the high resolution photos. You can make low resolution photos if whatever case may arise that you need them out of high resolution photos, but you cannot make a low res photo into a high res one. As you can see, my download has now started. This will probably be the longest one that you do because there's usually a lot of photos at high quality being associated with your listing. I am going to go ahead while that is finishing downloading. Let's go back to our listing dashboard. From our listing dashboard, we can see there's a handful of items that are ready-made and good to go. Our mailer, our brochure, our ad, our flyer, and our just solds, once those finish, are all downloaded in the same way. So let's click on them, and I'll show you how that's done. Mailer, for example, and just like the brochure and postcards will all already, because they're all completed, they're approved, it's got all of the text that you used, all of the details that we've saved. All we have to do is click that little gray button right underneath status, and that, as you can see, will start a download. Let's go back to dashboard, rinse and repeat. We're going to go to brochure. And underneath that UPS tracking information, I can hit download. Go back to listing dashboard. For the advertisement, you will see a visual representation of what the ad looked like. I would always recommend with each order you purchased, if you can get a publication, let's say if you're in my region and you purchased the Bay Area News Group and that ran in 10 different local publications, if you can grab one of them, that's great because then you can have some context. Otherwise, you can say, this is what my print ad looks like, and these are the locations in which it runs. Again, either way works fine for your business. Point being, we've got something physical to show our client, and you're not just telling them stuff. Of course, the just listed, just sold postcards are both downloaded the same way. Let's go to the flyer, and we can download that as well. Here, we just got to go look for the one that was made, which you will note by having things like these 2 items made available. I'm going to hit download, and that'll get saved as well. Back to the dashboard. We just did the flyer. I think I forgot to actually download the ad. So let me do that real quick. Bam. Okay, so what about things that can't be downloaded, like your video and your website? Or if you had a platinum package or a additional package and you also purchased a add-on like a Matterport or a virtual tour or something like that, that is again a link. Here's what we recommend doing. And this is where we can open up we go back to CB Desk, Office 365, and email. This is where your OneDrive lives, but it's also where the rest of your Office tools live as well. I'm going to hit Stay Signed In. Your Office account is set up with whatever account your CB Desk access is logged in with. OneDrive is something we'll put a pin in. We're going to get back to in a second. I'm going to go ahead and create a Word document. And I've got one here that I've already started. And as you can see, we've got links for 125 32nd Avenue. All you want to do is create a new Word document. You can come up here to create a title for that document. And this is where you will save those assets that are a little less traditional. Oops. Got this bar running along the top of my screen. Give me one quick second. There we go. So if we're looking at something like your property website, and as you can see, this is the one with the check mark, the one that was completed. And all we'd have to do is go in here and grab this URL and copy it and paste it into our link space, which is that link right here. Same, and all you have to do is save the branded one. We don't really care about any unbranded material because, again, everything is being used for advertising purposes for you. Same thing we would also do for the YouTube link. And as you can see, I've saved that TV ad here. What you can also do is download it directly. And I will include all of the instructions on how to do that. But I also teach a class on setting up a YouTube account. You very much want to have these videos saved and uploaded to your own channels because, again, it's all solid advertising for you and it's good SEO boost and good marketing for you that should be taken advantage of. So what we're going to do is download this video real quick. All we got to do is paste our share link right here. We're going to click download on the 720p version. As soon as that green bar gets full, we will see another green button that'll allow us to download our video. Go ahead and close any pop-ups. Our video has gone ahead and downloaded. I'm going to close all of this. And, just for examples purposes, this listing didn't have a Matterport, but if you had a Matterport that you could access, all you would want to do is open it up, copy that link right up here, and save it with the rest of your links. Now, once you've done this, all we have to do is go to File, Save As, download a copy to your computer. And now we've got a copy of this saved with the rest of our assets. Now let's go and look. We've downloaded all of our assets that we need for 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz. The e-flyer, it's basically the same thing as the digital flyer. So we don't necessarily need that. But if you've got a copy, you can email it to yourself if you're really happy with it, and you can show that off. Your client report, you can always get from your Listing Concierge coordinator if you haven't gotten that set up. And again, if you created a slideshow or a banner, the download would be made available just like it is on your flyer, where once you have one complete, you can click and download it. But I digress. Let's go ahead, and we've got all of our stuff saved. Let's go ahead and put them in the folder. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my File Explorer, which takes me to my documents, and I know everything, again, is in my Downloads folder. So I'm going to go into my downloads, and we can see a ton of stuff here. More importantly, everything I just saved is called preview and a ton of numbers, right? So what we're going to do is rename everything to make sure that in the grand scheme, it makes our lives easier. This is my flyer. So all I got to do is right click, rename, flyer. And again, we're going to do the same for the rest of these. That's my mailer. We can call that just listed. That is my newsprint ad. And that means this is my brochure. Oh, I didn't download the brochure. We're going to pretend that's the brochure. And now all I've got to do, we've got my Santa Cruz folder open here, and it is empty. I've got my listing photos, my links, I've got all of my individual pieces, and I'm just going to drag them, as you can see, click and hold, and you got a little arrow, move to 125 32nd Avenue, Santa Cruz, and I let go. And just like that, all of these will start to move over. You can select multiple files at once and bring them over. But again, we just want to make sure that you do get everything. Here is my TV commercial I downloaded. Drag that into here as well. Got my brochure. And those are all of the assets that I had saved. Got my links, got everything. And let's say, for examples purposes, that's it. I've gotten all of my assets for this listing and my blank street, my fake street, and another address. I've got everything in my order history saved into my computer and into my Listing Concierge assets folder. What's the final step? Let's all get them uploaded to a cloud storage partner for long-term storage, and that way they don't have to eat up space on my computer. How do we do that? Let's go back into our CB desk. And now we can go pull that pin out of OneDrive. We're going to click on Office 365 and email. Close some of these extras. We're going to hit yes again to stay signed in. And now I get to click on OneDrive. OneDrive works like any other cloud storage partner, and it looks like any file explorer that you will use. Yours will probably look blank the first time you get in here, but mine is set to mirror my computer. So as you can see, you've got all your files located right here and some details about them in each column sorted across. You click on a file, you can open it and see all of the folders located therein. Works just like any file explorer on your computer. You can select one item to delete it, rename it, move it, etc. You can select multiple items to move them, rename them, share them, etc. You've got a handy dandy menu right here on the left, shows you your recycle bin, any items that you're sharing with other people, anything you've recently uploaded. You've got a menu bar on the top right here. The default is sorting them obviously by name, but you can change that to be by file size, file type, whatever the case may be. You can change the view if you'd like to look at them as tiles, if you wanted to look at a compacted list or a regular list, whatever the case may be, you can do. And now all you have to worry about are these items right here. You can add new things to this drive if you want and save things. You can upload things individually, but since we've already done all that good work and workflow of organizing all of our assets and downloading them and subsorting them, all we have to do now is click upload. I'm going to upload a folder and upload that entire Listing Concierge assets folder in one swoop off of my desktop. Hit upload, confirm, and just like that, you will see a status bar pop up right here. And all of your items, if we click on it, you can see all of your items are starting to upload. Immediately, we can see Listing Concierge assets created a few seconds ago by myself. And if we click on that, we can see the items starting to load in. Once it is complete, the status bar will disappear. It will, instead of progress, say completed. And that is it, guys. That is saving your assets. We were able to do one entire listing in about less than 15 minutes. So if you time block yourselves and organize it out, if you've got 2 listings, if you've got 20 listings, this is very doable, very easy to manage, and you got to get this done before the end of the month. If you're in the Northern California region where I'm at. And I don't know if I ever introduced myself. I apologize about that. My name is Anuj. I am the field marketing specialist in Santa Cruz and Monterey County, and I really hope you have enjoyed this session. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and open up the floor for any questions, as well as check the chat for any questions as well. So feel free to unmute yourselves if you'd like and ask away. I do not see anything in the chat, so I will leave it open for a handful of seconds just in case anybody would like to ask a question. Alrighty then. I will take the silence as fairly straightforward. Everybody's got a good grasp on this. Always, if you have any trouble, please feel free to reach out to myself or your local FMS or SSA. If you've got any questions, again, I will be sending a recap. You are very welcome, Ellen. I will send you guys a recap with a link to the video, as well as some broken down step-by-step instructions over what we did. So it'll all kind of ideally feel as simple as it was when I was going through it. Like I said, you just time block this stuff out, you will be done before you know it. And the greater good is being able to continually market yourself and have these materials as examples to promote your own brand and business. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. I will see you all later on. I'm teaching the same class on Thursday. Next week, I'll be back with some new stuff. Take care. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to me or your local FMS.